Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Thursday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is March 8th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the emergency room saw a big jump in overdoses from opioids last year. The latest evidence, the nation's drug crisis is getting worse. A government report released Tuesday shows overdoses from opioids increased 30% late last summer compared with the same 3-month period in 2016. The biggest jumps were in the Midwest and in cities, but increases occurred nationwide. This is a very difficult and fast-moving epidemic, and there are no easy solutions, said Dr. Ann Shushat, acting director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Overdose increases in some states and cities may be due to changes in the volume and type of illicit opioid drugs being sold on the streets, health officials said. The report did not break down overdoses by type of opioid, be it prescription pain pills, heroin, fentanyl, or others. The CDC recently started using a new system to track ER overdoses and found the rate of opioid overdoses rose from 14 to 18 per 100,000 ER visits over a year. Almost all those overdoses were not fatal. The CDC numbers are likely an undercount. Its tracking system covers about 60% of the ER visits in the whole country, and some people who overdose don't go to the hospital, Shushat said. Opioids were involved in 2/3 of all overdose deaths in 2016. That year, the powerful painkiller fentanyl and its close opioid cousins played a bigger role in the deaths than any other legal or illegal drug. More recent CDC data shows overdose deaths rose 14% from July 2016 to July 2017, but that data doesn't distinguish opioids from other drugs.
From the Journal, photo credits Emily Rice. Firefighters responded to a brush fire north of Cortez at 11:15 a.m. on Wednesday. That according to officials with the Cortez Fire Protection District. The fire started at 13627 Road 29 and put out a large plume of smoke. The fire was caused by a brush fire that got out of control. That according to Sean Biddle, Assistant Chief of the Cortez Fire Protection District. Biddle said the homeowner was burning a pile of brush and a combination of very dry climate and wind caused the embers to spread. 6 Cortez firefighters responded to the scene and had the blaze under control within 20 minutes, according to Biddle. It is so dry right now. I know that we are not doing the red flag warning, Biddle said, but the low humidity is really dangerous, and if there's any wind, it will pick up those embers. Biddle recommended keeping a water source nearby and staying with your controlled burn. According to the United States Drought Monitor, Montezuma County currently falls under classification D3 or extreme drought.
Reported by the Durango Herald, when people talk about harmful stress, the kind that can affect health, they usually point to big, life-changing events such as a death of a loved one. A growing body of research suggests that minor, everyday stress caused by flight delays, traffic jams, cell phones that run out of battery during an important call, etc., can harm health too, and even shorten lifespans. One traffic jam a week isn't going to kill you, of course. Psychologists say it's the nonstop strains of everyday life that can add up. Chronic daily hassles can lead to increased blood pressure, which puts you at risk for heart disease, explains Carolyn Aldwin, director of the Center for Healthy Aging Research at Oregon State University. She adds that it can also raise the levels of our stress hormones, a process that affects our immune system and can lead to chronic inflammation, a condition associated with a host of serious illnesses, including cancer. It's not necessarily the exposure to the continuous streams of minor stressors but how we react that can take a toll. In a 2014 study of 1,300 men, Aldwin and other researchers had participants rank on a stress scale of 0 to 4 situations they encountered during the course of a day. Using a list that included such items as your kids, your garden, and your commute to work, the researchers found that men who perceived their everyday hassles as very stressful had a similar mortality risk as people who consistently reported more highly stressful life events, such as the death of a loved one. Men who rated daily lives as extremely stressful were 3 times more likely to die during the study than those who reported low levels of daily stress, Aldwin says. Learning to roll with the punches, she says, can protect you.
Growing the Future Together, a piece in the Dove Creek Press by the Dove Creek Chamber, photos Lisa Airy. Reduce, reuse, recycle, the catchphrase from the EPA encouraging ways you can help your community and the environment by saving money, energy, and natural resources. Being in rural America, when it takes a lot of resources to both get rid of items as well as to purchase new ones, we are well aware of the practice of reusing and repurposing everything from clothes to trucks, metal to wood. Just look at any longtime farm or ranch property and you'll see the unique character that is a result of creatively caring for the resources available. There are several ways government agencies, businesses, and residents can participate in both a meaningful and economically viable manner of recycling. Two main categories come to mind: composting and repurposing. A recent article in the Journal covered the composting project in Montezuma County, as they are working towards reducing food waste going to the landfill, diverting it into a composting operation that saves space and generates funding for the facility through the sale of bags of dirt. A similar drive could be coordinated here in Dove Creek on a smaller level. If anyone is interested in participating in developing a fundraiser or a great mentoring idea to show kids how to make money from garbage, give the Chamber a call. The repurposing recycling mechanism has just begun again here in Dove Creek through the efforts of the Dolores County Zero Waste Group and the school district. Charlie Wallace of American Recycling has developed a business out of picking up truckloads of broken down equipment, anything with a plug, he noted. And instead of hauling it off to a landfill, he works to reincarnate the items so that they are brought back into use. Mr. Wallace said the company was very excited to be fully certified, having successfully obtained R2 certification. He said it quote, expands our options so we can service a larger market. R2 certification, also referred to as responsible recycling, is described by the Thomas Register as responsible recycling practices for use in accredited certification programs for electronics recyclers. The standard requires certified companies to have a policy on managing used and end-of-life electronic equipment, components, and materials based on strategies such as reuse, materials, and energy recovery and/or disposal. Currently, Mr. Wallace said his company has mainly been servicing public school districts and some hospitals along with a few county governments. With this new certification level, their market can now expand. On the request of Dolores County Zero Waste in coordination with the Dove Creek School System, last Thursday the first truck arrived to haul off decommissioned items such as broken computers and telephones. They will be back again today, Thursday, March 8th, to collect the rest of the materials that are being donated to the company instead of paying to have them hauled off to a landfill. The company will then continue on with pickups in the town of Dolores before eventually heading the cargo back to Lincoln, Nebraska, where at their facility they work to fix the computers and other elements to be brought back as a functioning part of society. As government agencies, companies, and residents have to pay sometimes up to thousands of dollars to dispose of such waste items into landfills, the cost savings alone should be incentive enough to connect with a service such as American Recycling. Pretty neat, and we love to see the creative ways people can grow something new out of something old in a community, creating jobs and making a business where there once was just a machinery graveyard. Of course, we are looking forward to Dove Creek and Dolores County growing the future together, and composting and repurposing may play a part in that growth.
Reported by the Durango Herald, as the deadline approaches for opening Lake Nighthorse, residents who support a quiet lake are concerned Durango City officials have already made decisions, making the latest round of public input meetings moot. Trappers Crossing resident Kim Hall attended public meetings in February but came away with the impression they were held purely for show, mainly to placate Durango City Council. He doesn't expect the city will introduce new measures to make it a quiet lake when it opens in April as a result of the input. Councilors directed city staff to hold more meetings about motorized boating on the lake after receiving emails about the issue in December and a petition with 1,200 signatures supporting a 5-mile-per-hour speed limit for boats in June. City staff is revising the plan to manage motorized and non-motorized boats on the lake based on the public input, Parks and Recreation Director Kathy Metz said. The plan will be presented to the council in mid-March during a work session ahead of opening day on April 1st. Metz expects the plan will present a compromise for different user groups of the lake. Some regulations already exist. For example, the Bureau of Reclamation has prohibited open-air exhaust boats and houseboats. The city is required to allow motorized boating on the lake because a grant funded by excise taxes on fuel for motorboats paid for the boat ramp and other improvements. Details of the plan are being reviewed, but Metz expects it will address concerns voiced during recent meetings. The city held focus groups, a community meeting, and a workshop in February and March. The community meeting drew more than 130 people and about 80 attended the workshop, she said. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather shows mostly warmer and dry weather across the U.S., with the large exceptions of the two major storms on each coast. The northern coast, the nor'easter that is finally settling down from the Appalachians on up to the tip of Maine and back to the Great Lakes, still under heavy snow potential, but the brunt of the winds have subsided on that coastal area. The other news is in the new storm brewing over the Pacific Northwest, bringing a mix of rain and snow, with that system bringing in quite a bit of moisture, which may make its way to the Intermountain West by the end of the weekend. Regionally, high pressure will build over the western United States, producing dry conditions with warmer temperatures through Friday. The next chance of rain and snow will come Friday night through Saturday afternoon, when the next Pacific storm moves through northwest Colorado, with best potential for snows over the northern and central Colorado mountains. Accumulations look light at this time, with 1 to 3 inches possible. And for those concerned about our water resources after a dry winter, the National Weather Service says we are about a month out from when the snowpack reaches its normal peak depth and theoretically should contain the most liquid or snow water equivalent, SWE. The normal date for this peak in Colorado is April 9th and in Utah April 4th, but the actual peak date varies in any given water year. Snowpack for Colorado shows as of March 5th, the snowpack in the state of Colorado was 69% of normal and 52% of what it was on this date in 2017. So we are definitely still looking for a wet spring to help us out. Our local 5-day DCTV outlook. Today, sunny with a high near 57 degrees. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the morning. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 33 degrees. Southwest winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming east after midnight. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 59 degrees. East winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 33. Southwest winds 5 to 10, becoming north-northeast after midnight. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. North-northwest winds 5 to 10. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 31. You get the idea here. And then Sunday, we have a slight chance of snow showers between noon and 1 p.m. and then a slight chance of rain showers after 1 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a high near 51. The chance of precipitation is just 20% at this point. Sunday night, a slight chance of rain showers before 9 p.m., then a slight chance of rain and snow showers between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m., and then a slight chance of snow showers after 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 34 degrees. And Monday, partly sunny with a high near 51. Monday night, partly cloudy with a low around 29. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 53. And Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 31 degrees. And now, back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, donors who help fund maintenance and restoration of federal parkland would get more public recognition under a proposal Tuesday from a Colorado congressman. Colorado U.S. Representative Doug Lamborn discussed ideas for eliminating a $16 billion backlog of maintenance at national parks and other federal lands during a hearing of the House Natural Resources Committee. Lamborn, a Republican of Colorado Springs, said he reported a tasteful and reasonable recognition that I think is a legitimate and proper thing, especially if it keeps those contributions coming further, he said. The recognition could include signs at park facilities listing the donors' names, he said. He also said he would like to see young people and veterans hired under the proposed Conservation Service Corps Act, a bill in Congress to coordinate efforts among federal agencies to restore rundown federal properties. Young adults and veterans would be given a hiring preference. Lamborn's suggestion won agreement from P. Daniel Smith, the National Park Service's Deputy Director. However, he cautioned that the National Park Service needs to avoid creating the appearance that federal property could be used for corporate or personal endorsements. The National Park Service estimates its holdings at 500 million acres nationwide, worth more than $300 billion.
A skier from Dove Creek is inducted into the Hall of Fame, and March 12th will be known as Mary Rydell Day in Dove Creek. Reported in the Journal, Jim Imiaga, courtesy photos, and Emily Rice photo credit. Paralympic skier Mary Rydell grew up in Dove Creek, but she said she never saw herself as disabled. Because of a medical complication, her leg was amputated below her knee shortly after she was born. Using a prosthetic leg, she was learning to ski with the other kids at Purgatory and Telluride by age 3 and racing by age 9. By age 14, Rydell's appetite for speed and victory led her to a career as a professional ski racer. She traveled the world from 1994 to 2004 and became a Paralympic champion. Quote, "I was a very technical skier, but it did not happen overnight. My success was due to a collection of people, my parents, coaches, and teammates," she said. At 23, she retired from ski racing, worked as an EMS technician, got married, and settled in Dolores, where she is raising her son while working in the dental field. On December 8th, Rydell was inducted into the USA Disabled Snow Sports Hall of Fame for her successes in downhill and slalom events. At 18, Rydell won gold, silver, and 2 bronze medals in the 1998 Paralympic Games at Nagano, Japan. During the 2002 Paralympic Games at Salt Lake City, she again won gold and silver. In addition, Rydell won 27 national titles, was the World Cup overall champion in 1999 and 2000, won 11 individual World Cup globes, and took home gold, silver, and bronze medals in the 1996 and 2000 World Championships in Lech, Austria, and Anzer, Switzerland. After I won my first gold at 18 in Japan, I was able to relax more, and the experience helped me succeed in more races, she said. She topped off her trophy case with the Hall of Fame induction held during a ceremony in Breckenridge. "It's a bit surreal because my mentors are also in the Hall of Fame," Rydell said. Looking back, the experience was priceless. She said at age 14, she made the U.S. adaptive ski team and traveled throughout Europe and the U.S. On average, we were skiing 200 to 230 days per year. She said it was like a full-time job. We had to find our own sponsors back then, and her main one was Visa. Ski racing opened a lot of doors and allowed me to meet others with disabilities and see their successes with their lives and careers, she said. At the race, we all had some disability, but nobody talked about it. We talked about the competition, the course, the conditions. Rydell uses a simple prosthetic for skiing. The foot moves fore and aft and fits into a regular ski boot. In the Paralympics, she told herself not to accept anything less than gold, and it worked. "I was good at willing myself to race my best, that zen feeling every athlete seeks where you are not nervous and very confident. If you think you're going to crash, then you probably will." In 2000, she was named Colorado Sportswoman of the Year and inducted into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. In 2010, she considered a comeback, but an injury prevented it. Now, she enjoys teaching her 3-year-old son, Sawyer, to ski. The 2018 Paralympic Games are taking place in Pyeongchang, South Korea, March 8th through the 18th. Mary Rydell Day in Dove Creek is March 12th, the day she won her first gold medal in the 1998 Paralympic Games in Japan. A video of Rydell's skiing career was made by the U.S. Disabled Snow Sports Hall of Fame inductee, and if you go online, you can see it on YouTube.
According to the Durango Herald, a bill that will allow Southwest Colorado Community College and other community colleges to offer a 4-year Bachelor of Science in Nursing degrees won final approval Tuesday in the State House. The measure, House Bill 1086, now heads to Governor John Hickenlooper for his signature. House Bill 1086 would grant community colleges authority to offer the bachelor's degree in addition to the 2-year associate's degree they already offer. SCCC, a branch of Pueblo Community College, expects to add the higher degree program that will allow registered nurses to continue their education, PCC President Patty Erjovic said. The program will allow nurses to earn degrees without leaving the area, she said. She expects enrollment in the program will grow faster than numbers of students in registered nursing classes because it won't be limited by the number of hours that students must spend in medical settings. The degree program will help fill a need for nurses with bachelor's degrees that isn't being met by 4-year schools. The problem is that there just aren't enough slots open in existing 4-year degree programs, or that the cost of those programs are beyond what students can afford, or that the 4-year programs aren't available in some parts of the state.
From the Durango Herald, a proposal to name a highway for Trump faces opposition, an AP file photo. A proposal to name a Utah highway after President Donald Trump is getting pushback from Utah state Democrats, including one who said Tuesday that he would suggest naming a ramp for porn star Stormy Daniels, who alleges she had a sexual encounter with Trump in 2006. State Senator Jim DeBacchus said he's trying to show lawmakers that many people would be offended by the idea of honoring Trump for his contentious decision to shrink 2 national monuments in Utah. The president's move received support from state Republican leaders who want the land open for potential oil, gas, and coal use, but angered environmentalists, outdoor enthusiasts, and Native Americans. Several groups, including outdoor retailer Patagonia, are suing over the decision, calling it the largest elimination of protected land in American history. I just want the legislature to understand the level of disrespect that a lot of citizens are feeling by this notion of awarding him this most special byway in the United States, DeBacca said. Now named the National Parks Highway, it overlaps several roads as it connects a series of iconic national parks such as Zion, Arches, and Bryce Canyon. If the idea becomes law, Utah would spend $124,000 on signs for Donald J. Trump National Parks Highway. It's been approved by a committee of lawmakers and is now paused in the House, where another Democrat is suggesting replacing Trump's name with recently deceased Utah billionaire and philanthropist John Huntsman Sr. Republican Governor Gary Herbert said that while he wanted the monument scaled back, naming the highway for Trump might be premature. Typically, at least in Utah, we wait until people have left office and reward them for the work they've done, or sometimes even after they've passed away. Republican supporters argue Trump deserves the honor for downsizing the sprawling Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante national monuments in December. Former President Barack Obama designated Bears Ears before he left office in a series of expansions of monuments nationwide. Representative Mike Knoll, who's sponsoring the measure, has said the Utah monuments wrongly limited how the land can be used and ignored the wishes of the people who live near them. He says Trump's decision shows he cares about states' rights. Noel didn't immediately respond to a message seeking comment on Tuesday. Elsewhere, lawmakers in New York have considered renaming a state park named for Trump on land he donated after plans for a golf course fell through.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of February 26th through March 4th. A resident stated that a red pit bull has gone missing from a residence. If anyone sees or knows of a female red pit bull without an owner, please contact the sheriff's office. A few llamas have been reported out on a county road. The owner is unknown at this time. If you are missing llamas, please call the sheriff's office to identify them. Received a report of harassment by a local resident. The case is under investigation. Investigated a report of a physical threat by a family member. The officer diffused the situation. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country Happenings. March 9th, a free Snow Go demonstration will be held at the Telluride Ski Resort this Friday or Saturday, March 9th or 10th, as part of their Mountain Takeover Tour. Grab your friends and head up the mountains for free demos, new adventures, and great times. They'll be set up from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. A ski bike is set up like a wheeled bicycle, but it has 3 snowboard-type attachments, 2 in the back and 1 in the front. For more information on that company, head online to their Facebook page /SnowGoBike. Starting March 15th, learn to use Google's free online applications. This class is geared toward adult learners interested in learning critical digital literacy skills needed in today's work environment. Students will learn to use online tools to manage real-world projects and decisions. The class will cover Gmail, Google Calendar, Drive, Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Thursday, March 15th, April 12th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Cortez Adult Education Center, 10 West Main Street in Cortez. The cost is $85 and for details or to pre-register, go online to durangoadulted.org. And a reminder that this weekend on March 10th starts the 4 alternate Saturday Leading Edge workshops in Dolores County at the Dove Creek Public Service Center. If you want to start a business or already are in business, this might be the right course for you. For all the details, go online to clients.coloradosbdc.org. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.